Skyrim is the Dark Souls of role-playing games. Upon its release in 2011, it was considered one of the most difficult RPGs of its time. Now, 10 years later, only seasoned veterans can say they've beaten the main questline. But it doesn't have to be like this. Can you beat Skyrim? The first thing you want to do is open the gameplay menu and make sure your difficulty is set to Novice. Then pick any class and any gift. What's important is which faction you side with. I chose the Imperials because Stormcloaks are racist nationalists, but you might also choose the Stormcloaks because they're racist nationalists. Once you get your bindings off, you're going to want to grab a bowl and head to platform 9 3/4. This will reset your position to the center of the cell, and prevent everyone's brains from having cells. This allows you to walk through Helgen without worrying about being attacked. After Helgen, go straight to Bleak Falls Barrow. Doing this is very relevant to the video topic. Return the Dragonstone to Captain Farengar, and you'll be sent to the Western Watchtower to investigate a dragon attack. Then the unexpected happens. A dragon attack. It's times like this where you wonder if Bethesda even playtested the game. Sending a dragon after the player this early is just cruel, even with the Whiterun guards acting as figurative training wheels to distract it and deal damage. Normally in this situation, I would recommend getting Wind Shear, the best weapon in the game. But you have to reach the end of the Dark Brotherhood questline to obtain it. This is virtually impossible without having Wind Shear, the best weapon in the game. So instead, we're going to be performing a game-breaking exploit with the power to trivialize even the game's most difficult encounters. Despite what many people apparently believe, the restoration loop was never patched, and can be performed on the latest version of Skyrim without the unofficial patch. Once you've crashed your game at least once and settled for a ridiculously strong Fortify Alchemy buff, you have to make a decision. Do you want to have fun? Even though Skyrim's difficulty is oppressive, giving ourselves infinite health will ensure that all joy the game could hold is mercilessly robbed from us. So how about we get a Vampire Lord bodyguard instead? To do this, you'll need to get into Castle Volkihar early by clipping through the front gate with Netch Jelly. After going through the door, approach this bench in first person and brandish your weapons against it to assert dominance. Then jump and activate the bench in mid-air. When you sit down, you should see your hands in front of you. Turn around until your hands are facing the wall, and hold forward to stand up and walk through it. I will name this the sitting clip, so people don't realize it was actually discovered by Jita92 on YouTube. Now you want to walk backwards off the edge, then start dropping items below you while moving forward. This will reduce your downward speed and fall damage. You should see a Vampire Lord silhouette further down the abyss. It is a Vampire Lord named Load Dummy, imprisoned for its crimes against this man. Vampire Lords aren't considered humanoid, so Dead Thrall would have no effect on him, but we can achieve the same effect by drinking a Super Fortify Conjuration Potion and using a Reanimation Scroll, since he's only level 1. But with only 300 health, you might find yourself raising him pretty often. Luckily, he isn't the only Vampire Lord that can be reanimated. If you load warp to Castle Volkihar's boss room and clip through the north wall, you'll see 2 more Vampire Lords in the distance. These are both versions of Lord Harkon that are used in his boss fight. You'll need to use a Do Not Delete to reach them, but it will become invisible halfway there. These copies of Lord Harkon can be up to level 60 depending on your own level. To raise them with the Dread Zombie spell, you'll need to be under level 22, ignoring Necromage. They may disintegrate once you go through a door, but you can save and reload to make them appear again. You can test out your undead escorts by going through the main quest, but when reading the Elder Scroll at the Throat of the World, they'll die and can't be raised again. So as a last resort, we can become an unassailable Vampire Lord ourselves. The only setup is to become a Stage 1 Vampire Lord. Transform, then use Revert Form at the earliest possible moment. After waiting a few seconds, you should become a Vampire Lord again, only this time with less clothes. The character menu is still replaced by the Vampire Lord perk tree, but on PC you can use hotkeys to reach the other menus. NPCs will also treat you kindly, so being stuck as a Vampire Lord forever isn't so bad. That said, there are a few downsides. Here's a non-exhaustive list of things that don't work with this bug. But these trivial annoyances are a small price to pay for invincibility. Enemies won't be able to land attacks on you, as you have what the game considers the ghost state. It's like having become ethereal active 24/7. You're also able to stack all your armor without any special procedure, allowing for easy magicka discounts. This is important for the next stage of becoming overpowered, rebalancing Skyrim. Master level spells usually come with the downside of being stuck in place while casting, but Vampire Lords don't have a unique animation for casting master spells. You'll still have to charge the spell before firing, but you're free to move around while doing so. I find this most useful when casting Lightning Storm, since you can keep it up and reposition during a fight. With this secret weapon, I felt ready to challenge Alduin. I couldn't believe I would finally beat Skyrim after all these years. In my haste, I ignored Sun and crossed the Whalebone Bridge. After all, nothing could stop me. I was invincible! And I did not beat Skyrim using Vampire Lords.